With that being said, welcome to the new show on the block. Touching every topic, guaranteed to make it hot. Run them Phillip River spirals to girly running the rock. Run them lake show dunks to them game winning shots. It's a lock, it's a fact that we only spitting facts. Like who wreck a finna flop and who stay on top of that. Who the hottest of the month and who really spitting trash. Don't stress, just guess. This your favorite podcast. Everything should be dead after.
That's what he said.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending what time it is, wherever you are in the world, listen to us right now. I am Francisco, your host with the most, aka defective_TDK on the IG, and I'm chilling with my co-host.
What's up, everybody? It's Daniel, aka Lord Pretty Rocco on that IG.
And you are now tuned in to episode 87 of
With that being said.
Last week we took some extra safety precautions, some extra safety measures. Because Daniel was unaware of his what's the correct word? Unaware of his situation, his COVID situation.
COVID health, COVID status.
COVID status, yeah, we're unaware. So we did for the first time we did separate recordings. We weren't together when we actually recorded the show. And this week we're going along the same lines only because schedules couldn't sync up this week. So we're not gonna do this every week per se, but I mean I do like the format. I prefer being together. I feel like we vibe a little bit more. The energy's there, but this is not a bad substitute for when we have to. You know.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind taking a break, taking a little vacation from you a little bit.
You know I'm gonna be honest. When you're not here and we're recording, I can do things that I normally wouldn't be able to do when you're here, Daniel.
Okay, do you want to specify on those things?
Yeah, you could ask me what I'm doing right now.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, as we're recording this episode, I'm doing it butt-ass naked.
Why can't you do that when I'm there?
I mean, I guess I could.
Yeah.
And for everybody listening, feel free to do with that information what you will. I'm just saying, I'm at home, I'm by myself, I'm comfy, dog.
Oh.
Matter of fact, let me get a bit more comfy, Danny, may I?
Go ahead. Take your time, actually.
Let me just crack that one.
On a Sunday. I like it.
On a Sunday. I mean, why not?
Why not? I respect that.
No, I mean, you know what? I had a long day of work. I got home. You know, you take off your work uniform. One thing happens after another. You started with the pants. Before you know it, you get to the underpants. Life's upside down because of COVID. You don't even know what's going on anymore, you know?
Hey, it don't matter.
It don't matter, bro, because I'm being me and I'm comfy. And like I said earlier, everybody that's listening, do with that information what you will. You know what I'm saying? Danny, I'm sure there's some things that you can do because I'm not there.
That's true. Very true. Like right now.
I don't know if you're taking full advantage.
I'm not actually. I had some stuff to do beforehand, so I'm kind of fully clothed, sadly. I don't mean to get you a little sad, but yeah, I have all my clothes on, so I'm sorry.
Would it be weird? Would it be weird if we were both nude and we were talking to each other? Would that be weird?
No, not at all.
I don't see why.
I don't see why. No, not at all.
I feel like maybe, yeah, some people would make it a bigger deal than it had to be, but, you know, it's perfectly fine.
No, it's 2020. We don't judge. We don't judge nowadays. Not at all.
Danny, you had something that you wanted to bring up about. I guess it was a conversation you was having last night.
Yes, actually. A little controversial. I don't know about controversial, but I guess, is it a taboo? Would the taboo be a right term? It's about recording.
To tell you the truth, I don't think it's a taboo anymore.
Not a taboo, not no more?
No. At one point in time,
At one point,
sure.
I feel it was like in the 80s. I don't know, but like in the 60s, 70s, people be wilding back then. But also, they didn't have cameras. But speaking on cameras, I'm talking about
life's different now.
Recording sexual activity, sexual encounters.
Now, is this with you involved, or are you being a perv?
So I don't like how the first thing you say is me being a perv. Like I'm a little offended by that. Like you just assumed that I'd be a perv about it.
Cause you didn't specify
I didn't
if you was there in it or
if
not.
If someone says that, I'd be like, oh, you're talking about like recording yourself with somebody else, right? I wouldn't be like, oh, you're talking about secretly recording two other people doing something. I'm just saying, I need you to get your mind out together.
When it was coming from you, because I've known you for years, I was like, oh, Danny's being a perv again.
Oh, okay. But to specify, I'm talking about yourself with somebody else.
Yeah, and how did this conversation even come about, or if you care to get into that?
I'm trying to remember exactly. We just talked about I think we talked about nudes. Nudes was a little gateway drug into like actual sex tapes. And
Right?
then like the girls were like, "Yeah, I've sent nudes before. I don't care." And then we started talking about like if people have shown the nudes to like their friends or like dick pics to their girlfriends. You get me? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like the one of the girls was like, well, I mean, they could show their homies. Like, I don't care. Like, my face is never on my nudes, so like they can show it to their homies. I can care less. But if it's a recording, then I feel like nah. And I'm like, interesting.
Oh,
So
that was where she drew the line.
that's kind of where she drew the line exactly. And then that's when I was thinking. And then she asked me like, do you got like have you sent? Oh, actually, I remember. She's like, have you sent a dick pic? And I was like, I have, but also it was a like they asked for it. It's not like I just because I hear some girls that just get random dick pics out of nowhere. They just be
I'm
like,
sure they do.
that's and I was
I'm
like,
sure
that's
they do.
hella weird. Like, oh, I got a snap from. Oh fuck, it's a fucking dick pic. Like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know about that one, but
3 o'clock in the afternoon? You mean this guy was on his lunch break and he's like, "Oh, let me bang one out right quick."
yeah, I guess so. Let me and what's funny about that is that I don't understand how dudes like do that and expect the girls to like to respond positively.
Like, yeah, you don't.
Like just hey,
You don't see what the next move is or what's the best possible outcome from
yeah,
that.
it's always it always ends up bad. There's no way unless you've done this before with the girl and like you guys have already are on that level sexually. If you just try to like do that to like break the ice, absolutely the worst icebreaker of all time.
It's a bold move.
It
It's a
is a
bold
bold
move.
move. But specifically, um, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but have you recorded yourself doing any kind of sexual um, activity?
Yeah, I have. Here's my thing about that. Like, if you're doing that kind of stuff, it should I think it should be like if you're in a relationship with somebody,
Uh-huh.
and especially because, well, I don't know. I guess it all comes down to circumstance because it's like, are you the one in possession of the video? Does the other person also have that video? How much do you trust this person not to share it with anybody? I'm assuming you don't want people seeing it. It was something personal between you two guys, you two people. So I mean, I don't know. I guess it all depends on circumstance. So for me, it's like if you're in a relationship with somebody, I'm assuming you trust them, and you guys can, you know, keep keep the spark there, keep it sexy. Just midday nudes and shit. Yeah, like that's fun. Why not? Or you're not gonna get to see each other all the time, so it's like, hey, it's been a minute since we've been together. Let me make his day, and then she sends a picture.
Uh-huh.
So that kind of stuff, I'm totally cool with. I think if you're not together and you're just kind of doing that, I mean, you're a risk taker. You're bold.
Some people just like the thrill.
Yeah, and I know, people were doing it on Snapchat, right? Because it goes away
Yeah.
after. But like, you can still screenshot. Like, yeah, you get the notification that they took a screenshot, but like, what? That notification doesn't do anything. That person has it now.
Yeah. Like me personally, like you know how you're saying you're specifically talking about like couples who've been together and they want to spice things up. I've had
Yeah,
situations where a girl told me, and it's a girl that um I was I hadn't messed with beforehand, but the first thing she said is like, I want you to record me while I'm giving you head. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't care. I'll do it. That's someone that I wasn't with. It just she wasn't a random, but she was also wasn't somebody that I was. It was just someone that I was kind of messing with, but not really. And I've had other situations where girls have said, like, oh, like next time we do it, I want to record it. And it's like, oh, fuck, okay, cool. Like, if that's your thing, then yeah. And like, I guess maybe like my future self probably maybe I shouldn't do that, but I've done it and like I have said videos, they're there. Maybe when I get lonely one time, I have to watch them.
hey,
But
sometimes you gotta run back the highlight films.
sometimes you gotta know, hey, hey, that was me. Okay, I could do that. Like I'm
It's
sure,
like
I'm sure, I'm sure LeBron James watches his highlights, right?
it's like when you're watching an old game and it's like, man, that was a good game.
Like, yeah, you know what? I did. I got a triple double. That's right. That's what I'm supposed to do.
you know what? We left it all out on the floor that night, you know?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
also understand that in the same vein where you're gonna have highlights, you're gonna have that highlight reel, you're gonna you're gonna have some low spots, you know?
Oh. Oh,
You
see
might
those.
you might have a night where you go for 12. You know what I'm saying? You might have a night where you foul out early.
See, with
Maybe
those, you
maybe
just
you get
delete.
teed
You
up and
know,
you get kicked out the
you
game.
got to hit delete on that one and just forget it ever happened. That's why they're called highlights, because you don't
But
see
that's
none of
but
those.
that's what I'm saying. That's the dangers. That's the downfall of
You
of
gotta
having these recordings that
of
you're
watching
gonna run
the
it back and watch it and you're gonna be like,
yeah,
is
watching the
that me
game
or was someone
tapes.
else wearing my jersey? Because that's not me.
Nah, yeah, I was off that night for sure.
And it happens to the best of us, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion is if you want to do that, that's perfectly cool. Just not expect, but just think about, okay, this what if this person sends it to their friends or to somebody else? In reality, we're not all famous artists, so we're just normal people, so nobody really cares about our nudes, stuff like that. But I mean, there's also laws against spreading nudes of an ex or whatever. But at the end of the day, some people are very shy, reserved. They don't want other people seeing them in that situation, which is
Yeah,
understandable. But again,
yeah.
if you want to do it, do you, boo boo? No judging. Hey, explore yourself sexually. That's perfectly fine. But also, just know in the back of your head that what could happen.
I mean, there's consequences to it. Like we're grown. There's consequences to everything we do. I wanted to ask you that girl that you said she wanted you to record while she went down. Now, the first thing that I think of is, oh, like she's into that, so she wanted that recording for herself because she wants to watch that, you know.
Yeah.
But the second thing that comes to my mind is, do you think like she's a vengeful person and she wanted that video to send it to an ex or something?
Maybe. I don't know. That's actually a great question. I'm not a vengeful person, so I didn't even think like that. But I guess it made sense. But the thing is that with her, like how you mentioned right now, I remember before that encounter, and this was years ago. This was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. Um, she would just send me hella nudes, and like usually you kind of have to be like, hey, you gotta kind of have to ask them like, what's good, blah blah blah. She was
Yeah.
just on. She had nudes on deck. She would tell me she like, I love I love taking naked pictures of myself. I love taking nudes. So I just have a bunch in general. So she had the extendo clip ready to go. And yeah,
Guaranteed
guaranteed.
she was sending those out and
Yeah. And
a
like
lot of people got them.
I'm not complaining. Like that's fine with me. You
No,
throwing me
yeah,
the
of course
lob?
that's not your
I'm
it's not like
throwing
that was your girl.
exactly. You throwing me the lob? I'm gonna dunk it.
Why not?
Why not? D Wade, I got you. But in that
Well,
case, that's why I wasn't surprised when she told me that. I was like, oh well, she seems like she kind of likes this kind of thing. Okay, fine with me. But in that
well you
situation, I think she told me to send her the video, and I never did. And not because I didn't want to, just because I forgot. And then I just kept it. But I think when I got in a relationship, after that, I think I deleted it. Just to be safe.
I was gonna say you should send it to her now, see what's up.
Be like, hey, you remember this? Want to try this again?
Something. The
Gotta
reason
film the
why I brought
sequel.
up like the vengeful aspect of it is, you know how people can be insecure and when jealousy creeps in the back of your mind, it's an evil thing, and it takes over a large portion of your brain, and you can't get certain thoughts out of your head, right?
Yeah.
So one time, this was years ago now, but one time I had two homegirls hit me up that they wanted to kick it, and it was pretty late, like maybe it was like 11 p.m. and like I was just watching a movie at home.
Mhm.
So they didn't want to go nowhere. They just wanted to swing by and like, hang out in the car, talk. And I was like, all right, cool, we could do that. Why not? So they show up and I go and I'm in fucking PJs because I'm like, we're just gonna hang out in the car with her, right? Legit, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes of talking. One of the girls is complaining about this guy that, they're not together, but I guess they're kind of seeing each other. And he had made her upset, right? So like 5 minutes into that conversation, she's like, hey, like let's take a picture together. And like she wanted to have a picture of us hanging out at night to like either post it
Oh,
or
okay.
send to him, I'm assuming.
Okay,
And I
I
was
see
like,
what you did
what?
there. Oh
I
hell,
was like, I'm in
nope.
fucking PJs and we're hanging out in a car, like, but you don't see that. Once the picture gets posted, you don't get all those background details. All you get is she's with this guy late at night and they're hanging out,
Damn, she really. How does it feel being used, Francisco?
No, I didn't get used. I told her I wasn't gonna take the picture
Oh, you didn't. Oh, so you. Wow, bro, you're.
because I called her on it.
That's
I
king
called her
shit
on
right
it.
there. That's king shit right there.
I
I like
called her on
that.
it. I'm like, honestly, like that's fucking weak. Like you're gonna play with that man's insecurity because like he made you mad. Like whatever's going on between you two's going on between you two, but I don't want no part of it, dog.
You know what? I respect that. What? How did she react to that?
She was speechless because she didn't think I was gonna say anything,
Uh huh.
and her homegirl just kind of laughed and like changed the subject because it was awkward.
Oh hell yeah, that's definite because that I'm sure they planned that ahead of time. Like I'm gonna let's go hang out with him and then I'm gonna take a picture so I can post it on whatever the hell and he can
Yeah, because
see it.
they were like for sure he's probably down to kick it,
Uh huh.
and then we'll talk and we'll get a picture, and then when he sees it, he's gonna be so mad that you're.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, that's weak shit.
Damn.
So like we had a conversation for another few minutes, and I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna go inside because like there was no coming back from that awkward moment.
There's none. It's like you did this. You kind of didn't really want to hang out with me. You kind of just wanted to make your dude or whatever the hell jealous.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think that's the last time I hung out with those girls. I don't think like I didn't hit them up after that, and like they never hit me up after that.
Okay. You know what? Know yourself, Francisco. Know your worth. I like that.
That's true, dog.
Respect, bro. Respect, King.
But yeah, but that's why I've seen girls in action be like that. So I was like, damn, when she asked you for that video, I was like, I hate to be the guy that got that video.
But also, Debo'd you a bitch. Now she's both ours. So
Now she's both ours.
it happens.
I wanted to talk to you about something that I recently have dealt with for the first time in my life. And I've just never come across this situation. I've never been in this situation. So it's not that I don't know how to handle it, but I just find it to be very interesting. And I think it's an interesting conversation to have. I don't know if you've dealt with this before, Danny, but right now we've been getting a bunch of new hires, either from my store or for the new store that they're opening up. So we're doing a whole bunch of training. And we recently got a hire who is female but identifies as a male, and this is the first time I've ever like dealt with that. I've ever been around that.
Hmm.
Um, so we were doing the training, and maybe like an hour into it, he pulls me to the side and he was like, "Hey, like I was wondering if you could do me a favor." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he says, "Just so you know, I prefer to go by he, him pronouns, and I would appreciate it if you could like spread it like to the team so they know." And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And I told him, I'm like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, I never been around someone that prefers that, so my bad if I get it wrong a couple times, but like I'm trying, I'm trying, just so you know." And like, "Yeah, cool, totally understanding about it. But I was like, wow, like I've seen people at work who like struggle with it. Not to be mean, no, like no one has been like that's not right, or you should be who you're born to be or whatever. No one's been like that, but they literally just struggle with it because when you're talking to this person and you're looking at them, it's like, oh, like they looks like a female, like that's a female, but that's not how they prefer to be referred as.
Yeah.
Have you ever dealt with something like that?
I haven't, but obviously you've known and our listeners have known that do have a new job and I have a new job in healthcare.
Yep.
So as of right now, I don't schedule for certain clinics. I only schedule for certain clinics, and some of these clinics are one clinic specifically like is a rheumatology, and that deals with like hormones and stuff like that. And there's some people. There's also like a gender clinic, and those clinics are specifically for people who are transitioning, things like that.
Yeah.
And they've kind of trained us into how to talk to those patients because obviously like me, I'm on the phone, you hear a deeper voice, you would kind of assume it's a man, and you say, "Oh,
Mhm.
sir, this is and that," and sometimes it's actually somebody transitioning to be a woman. And you know what? Um, can you call me this instead? Okay, yeah, of course. So right now I don't have. And I'm saying luckily as in like I don't schedule for those clinics, so I don't have to worry about it as much. But I can see I can see where you're coming from a little bit because I've honestly never dealt with it personally. But again, just the fact that that he came up to you like that and just told you like, hey, I prefer this, this, and this. I think that's super. That's I don't have a problem with that. If someone came up to me and said, "Hey, can you just call me this instead?" Okay, that's how does that? How in the world does that bug me at all? I'll be, all right, cool. You want me to call you that? No problem. So I
Yeah,
honestly, yeah, 100%.
and I remember like, so when that happened, when he pulled me to the side and told me that, I was like, cool, like let me try to spread the word as quick as possible so it can stop happening. People can stop getting it wrong as
Hmm.
quick as possible. So I pulled all the other managers into the office, and I told them, I'm like, hey guys, like since we're all here, like I just want to let you guys know that he prefers to be referred to as a male. And
Hmm.
like it was like an awkward, maybe like a second and a half, and then somebody was like, yeah, like okay, and someone else goes, I have no problem with that. And I nipped it right in the butt right there. I was like, hey, it's 2020. We're not allowed to have a problem with that. So like that's, be careful about what you say or the attitude that you have coming towards this. Like we're not allowed to have a problem with that. If that's what he wants, then that's what it's gonna be.
No, and exactly. And some people will be like, "Oh, that's stupid," but they're blah 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 blah. It's like, yo, at the end of the day, how in the world does it affect you by calling them a she or them a he? Like, what the hell's the difference? Like, how does it? Oh, because you might mess up. I'm sure they're again, they're understanding. They understand like, okay, some people aren't used to this. So as long as you're giving it a shot and you're trying to refer to them by the correct gender, it's okay. At the end of the day, it's whatever. It's what they want exactly. If I want somebody to do something for me, I'm asking you nicely in a respectful way. Why not? Yeah, of course. Hell yeah. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, I had a conversation with one of the managers, and they kept slipping. They kept using she her,
Mhm.
and like so every now and then I would interject and be like, remember, he him. But like even in talking to that person, I can tell that they were trying. They were just like legit slipping, but they were
Yeah.
trying. Like they would get frustrated when they caught themselves do it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I again like speak for myself. I haven't really dealt with it, so I feel like I probably would have not a problem, but it's just like, okay. I gotta remember. I gotta remember. I gotta remember. At the end of the day,
It's
what's
just
I,
something new.
it's just something new. Hey, so we all gotta get used to doing new shit. No big deal to me, honestly. If I ever
Yeah,
work with somebody that identifies as male, as female, or vice versa, or whatever, I get like I said before, whatever. Like if that's what they want to be called, fine with me. It's not. You're not taking no money out of my pocket. Nothing. You just that's perfectly fine with me.
yeah. And here's my thing. Like I'm not trying to play devil's advocate or anything, but I'm just really wondering. Like a couple years ago, they started introducing like gender neutral restrooms, right?
Mhm.
And to me, like, isn't that just like a restroom where like one person goes in at a time? Like, isn't that a gender neutral restroom?
Yeah, basically.
Basically, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what that from
Okay,
most gender neutral restrooms that I've seen are just a single restroom, from what I
so
remember. Yeah, yeah.
so here's the thing. I've been to a store that has the gender neutral restrooms, but that door is not a one at a time restroom. Like
Oh,
when I went
interesting.
into the restroom, that first door to walk into the restroom, like it doesn't lock. And then you get into the restroom and it's just like two stalls, like no urinal, it's just two stalls. Each one has a toilet.
Interesting.
So I'm like, okay, so like can a guy and a girl be in here? Like is that cool?
I guess technically you can. I
Right?
feel like if I was a dude, maybe I personally would be like, you know what? Let me wait till the ladies out, just out of
Yeah.
respect, and then
Yeah,
I'll
when I
go
was
in.
when I was working at that store, whenever I had to use the restroom, like I would check to make sure like there was no ladies in there cuz I don't want them to think that like I'm in there doing something that I'm not, and I don't want to
Hmm.
get accused of anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But so then at our store at our location, we don't have gender neutral restrooms. It's just male and female restrooms. So the new employee, I was told I didn't see this, but the new employee used the male restroom, and I was like, okay, like that doesn't bother me. But if it's the other way around, like would some of the female employees be bothered?
See that I don't know. And you know what? And you know what? Now that you're mentioning this, I'm actually remembering that I did actually work with somebody who was transgender, but they were mostly transitioned already to a male.
Uh huh.
So it wasn't like it was just like, oh, it's a dude. It's hi. It's a he, him. So there was no problem. I think like the I think they still had a vagina, but facial hair, everything was the male. And I'm like, well, cool. That's if that's what you want to do, I don't got a problem.
Yeah,
And so
and
it wasn't that confusing for me. I feel like with this one, with your situation, it's more of like she hasn't started her transition, or people don't got money. Like, it costs money to do medical procedures, or
yeah,
maybe she's starting to, but that's what she identifies as. So as of now, she may be a female, or she has female parts, but in the future might be a male, and she wants to be called as a male now. Perfectly fine.
yeah, and that's my thing. For anybody listening, I don't want anybody to get it twisted of like I'm trying to be an asshole and tell them which bathroom that they need to use. I'm saying this is my first time dealing with this, so I don't know how this is supposed to work. Like I'm just wondering. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. I really like I have no idea.
I
So it
think
made
I,
me think. I was like, well, everybody should have gender neutral restrooms, I guess, and everybody should make them one at a times.
if I remember correctly, I don't know if there's a law, or I think there is,
I feel like there
that
was.
I think there was a newer law, something about like you can just go into whatever restroom like you identify as. Like if you identify as a female, you can go into the female restroom. There's no really laws. That's what the law was, but I don't remember. Don't quote me on it. I just remember reading some. I feel like I read that somewhere.
Yeah, no, it sounds vaguely familiar, but I really don't remember what it was. But I just thought it was interesting. Like I said, I've never
Yeah, no,
really
no.
dealt with this before, and I was like, oh, like this is something to talk about.
Well,
Um,
kudos for you for trying. I respect that.
trying,
2020.
try and put that effort out there, boy. Um, yo, Daniel, have you ever seen the show Community?
Is that with Donald Glover?
Yeah, Childish is in it.
Yeah, I haven't, but I know they have a few like bigger stars in it, right?
Well, yeah, like Joe McHale's in it. Um, there's one guy that I can't think of his fucking name, but if you see his face, you're like, oh yeah, he's really fucking famous.
Oh yeah, that guy.
That guy. Ken Jeong's in it. Jack Black does like a guest episode or two, but it's pretty good. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I've seen it before, but the other day when I had nothing to do and I went back to it, couple White Claws in already,
Oh,
I was
couple
like,
claws in.
I was legit cracking up watching this show, and I was like, damn, I can't remember the last time where I saw something that like legit had me laughing out loud.
Really?
And
Like
like
legit, just
maybe
okay.
because yeah, a little bit under the influence. It's okay. I wasn't driving. I wasn't going nowhere. But like, I was legit like glued to the screen cracking up. So for people who are running out of shit to watch, Community. It's on Netflix now.
On
I know
Netflix,
it's
right?
on
Yeah.
Hulu.
I think it's like on my suggested. You know how like my FBI agent tells them exactly what I like. That's
Yeah.
exactly what. Yeah, yeah. So they know. They said I watch The Office, I watch Parks and Rec, I watch this. So you should watch Community. So I've seen it, I've ignored it, but you know what? Just because you mentioned it, I might pop it in today.
And it's like that. It's similar to The Office and Parks and Rec in the sense that it's a it's a cast essentially made up of outcasts that come together and they form these special bonds and friendships, and the storyline evolves as it goes. I don't know how many seasons it's in now, but I want to say it's at least 5.
Oh, okay. It's a good little
It's a good amount,
binge
bro,
worthy.
to binge watch, to kill time in times like this.
At times
Yeah,
like
I
this, when you got
definitely
nothing else to
recommend
do,
Community.
for sure.
Let's switch it up and let's go sports, Danny, because you had a few interesting things that I wanted to get into.
Yes, yes, I do actually. Um, ESPN released their top players of all time. I think it was top 100 if I remember the number correctly. And obviously every few days they went 100 to 91, 91 to 89, so and so, so and so, and so and so, until they got to numbers 10 through 1. And I thought it was a little controversial because um, I feel like the 10 players that are on here should be on here. I just think we need to shuffle them around a little bit.
So you don't agree with the order?
I don't. I agree with the top 10 people. They're the top 10 players of all time. I don't agree with the specific order exactly.
All right. Well, if you want to run down that list, I'd be more than happy drop in my 2 cents on this list.
All right. So
I've
do you want to go
seen
10
it,
through
but
1 or 1
I
through
d-
10?
we could start at 10. We could start at
All
10.
right. So we got number 10, the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal.
This list is already wrong.
Okay.
Shaq
Number
at 10.
9.
That's ridiculous.
Number 9, Kobe Bean Bryant.
This list already lost all its validity. To have
Number
Kobe and Shaq at 9 and 10 is ridiculous.
8, Tim Duncan.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
I'm not
You
mad at
you
it.
have to understand. The big fundamental was doing things in '03 to win when he went almost quadruple double to clinch that second ring. Okay, I'm not mad at it. He has to be somewhere close to Kobe and Shaq. He probably belongs at 8. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at him at 8. Just ahead of them, I don't know.
Number 7, the legend Larry Bird.
No, there's no way he's ahead of Kobe and Shaq.
Number
I respect it.
6.
I respect it. I know what it is, but when you look at how the game's evolved, no way.
So yeah. So then now we're going on number 6, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain.
Obviously one of the greatest players of all time, has a great historic career, has some statistics that you'll probably never see again, but you also have to compare it to the level of play. I get it. You can only play who's in front of you, and at that time, he only had those guys in front of him. But to see what Shaq did in his career, Shaq should be ahead of Wilt for sure.
So we get to number 5. I don't mind number 5. We got your man. He's becoming my man, Irvin Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson is arguably the greatest player to ever do it, to ever lace it up. I've had this conversation many a times before, but people don't want to hear it because the play style was so different. But you know what? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't, dog.
Oh, hit him with the quotes, Francisco. I like that. I got number 4, Bill Russell.
Bill Russell, one of those guys. See, he's in. I almost want to speak on him in the same vein as I do Will Chamberlain, but he really did so much for the game and continues to be an elder statesman of the league and has helped the game evolve. So if you want to put him up there, I'm not mad.
Okay. Then we get to number 3. I like number 3. I like his place in it. I feel like he gets overlooked. It's our boy Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
100% he gets overlooked, and I think it's crazy to say that he gets overlooked when he's the all-time leading scorer. It's crazy to say that he gets overlooked when you saw how vital he was to Los Angeles winning championships. I think he got one in Milwaukee too. One of the smartest players to ever play in this game. Like him at number 3 is okay with me. But if he's 3 and Bill Russell's 4, you kind of know what people are looking for, if that makes sense, when they're doing the rankings.
Okay. Okay. We'll get back to that when I finish the list. Number 2. LeBron James.
Who?
LeBron James.
Look, man, I like LeBron. I'm not a fan. I'm not a diehard, LeBron fanatic. I like him. I respect his greatness. I understand what he's done for the game. Number 2? With how many finals losses? Number 2? Okay, we'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that. And then number 1, we already know, Michael Jordan.
You know, okay, look, for when people say Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever play, you know what? Like, I'm not mad at it. If you feel that way, there's a lot of reasons why you should feel that way, for sure. But just understand, if you're going to have him at 1 and Kobe at 9, your list is ridiculous. You think there's that many players? You think it's that big of a gap? And this is not no, posthumous because he's gone and, people forget what his game was like. No, I was saying this shit when he was alive, bro. I was saying this shit before he retired. You think the gap is that big? Like, your list is ridiculous. Will Chamberlain's ahead of Shaq. Your list is ridiculous. LeBron's at number 2. Shut the fuck up. I like LeBron. Not like that, bro. Number 2, get the fuck out of here.
So, if you guys want my opinion, Michael Jordan number 1, cool. I don't have a problem with that. LeBron James number 2, I do have a problem with that. Why? Because yes, he has 3 rings. Yes, he's basically triple double. He can do anything. He can play any position. He can do whatever he wants. He's a monster. But to have him number 1 above Kareem, no. To have him above Magic and Kobe, no. I'm sorry. If LeBron maybe gets couple rings with the Lakers, okay, I don't have a problem with him being number two, number three. But as of now, he has the potential to be number two. I don't doubt that at all. Does he have the potential of being better than Kobe? You know what? You can argue that if he gets a couple more rings, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. But for him to be two right now, that means that if he gets two more rings, he'd be better than Jordan. Three rings? No, not it. Same thing with Shaq. Shaq number 10, probably the most dominant center of all time. I just don't see I don't see how he could be number 10. To me, this list is um, number 1 Jordan, number 2 Kareem. I'll put I'll put Kobe 3, um, 4 Magic, and then you can kind of shuffle them from there. And then LeBron, right as of now, I can probably put him behind maybe Larry at 7 or Tim Duncan at 8. But obviously, LeBron's not done with his career. So he has time to go come up those ranks.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much where I have LeBron right now, somewhere in like that 8, 9, 10 range, which is great. He's not done with his career yet. And also, like, the hardcore LeBron fans are always going to say, bro, like, he can get a triple double any night. And, he can guard all 5 positions. And look at his efficiency rating. And it's like, all right, if you're going to look strictly at his numbers, you have to look at the fact of the league's gone completely offensive. And, like, the offensive player gets anything he wants. So, I mean, that is definitely has something to do with the inflation of numbers over the years. Like, you see how many points we're scoring now a game. Like, we get 120 a game. I remember when, at the end of the third, guys had 63 points as a team, and now we're doing that by halftime on a regular basis. So you have to look at stuff like that. And also, don't tell me he can guard everybody on the court, because I've watched him play his entire career and I constantly see him take plays off. So if you want to say, yeah, he can, I'm going to say, yeah, he doesn't, though. So that makes it even worse, because you have the ability to and you won't. So that makes it even worse to me. And I'm not even trying to like hate on him, but that's factual. If you're watching the NBA season this year as a Laker fan, you saw him take numerous plays off that cost us. But you know what? Fuck this list, man. Danny, you got me hot.
You hot?
Yeah. Also,
right, well, I got
also it is kind of hot here.
But also just hot in general.
And I can't take off no more clothes because I'm bare.
You're already
I'm
there.
bare. I'm here.
Okay. Well, let's transition into something more that we can debate and we can talk about that you won't be upset about. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. I like being upset too, though. I'm just a grumpy person.
You're just a grumpy person. You just like people to get off your lawn.
I'm happy when I'm not happy, if that makes sense.
So you want people to get on your lawn so you can tell them to get off.
Yeah.
Like, I hope somebody hops up on my lawn today.
Give me an excuse to put this sign up.
I like it. Hey, man. So, another list. There's no sports. What do we got to do? We got to make shit up. We got to see what can we discuss.
You got to make shit up.
You got to make shit up.
I think it's funny, like, following, like, SportsCenter on IG. And, like, there's been a few times now where they post something and I'll just go comment. I'm like, man, you guys are running out of stuff, huh?
And they're probably like, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, you're not lying. So, I have a 5-on-5 matchup. And I know we've talked about the top 5 Bulls, top 5 Lakers, the Heatles versus the 01-02 Lakers, the 15-16 Warriors versus the 01 Lakers. I know we get all that. We've done all that. But we haven't done this. This superstar versus superstar lineup, this 5-on-5 lineup is different. Why? I'll just read you the caption. Different animal, same beast. So, check this out. I got first team is Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Shaq.
Fire lineup.
Fire lineup, right? The second lineup is also Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Shaq. The only difference is the first lineup is their first half of their careers, and the second lineup is the second half of their careers. Who would win? Or we can debate on this.
I found this to be very interesting because this is the first thing that I saw sports related in a while that I actually had to like give it thought.
You're like, oh, finally, I can think about some kind of sports stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, so if you just want to go down the list or you start off, yeah, I'm going matchup by matchup. So you
Yeah.
start off
So
with Chris Paul, right?
yeah,
Young Chris Paul versus older Chris Paul. Um, Chris Paul, his game has never been super athletic. So the fact that he got older, like he didn't lose much. Like you can say he lost a step just because he got older, but most of the time when people say someone lost a step, it's like you can tell he's slower now. He doesn't move as quick. But Chris Paul was never the fastest guy on the court. If anything, the reason why his speed came into play was because he knew how to change the pace of the game when he needed to benefit him and his team. So it's not that he was the fastest guy, it's that he knew how to change it and keep you guessing on defense. So to me, the fact that he's older just means he's wiser. I guess you have to take in consideration that he's never been healthy throughout his career, you know?
yeah.
Um, the second matchup, you get Kobe. It's tough. This one is tough because the first half of his career, the boy has bounce. The boy has, like, his athleticism is pretty surreal. And then you get the second half of his career where he really lets his brain shine, his smarts shine, and you can
His
see,
basketball IQ. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, and that's real dangerous. But who's to say that he didn't always have that? It's just that he relied on it more in his later years because he didn't have that bounce anymore. But I think in that matchup I would have to go probably younger Kobe in that matchup.
Really, I felt like I kind of wanted to go for Vino on that one.
Yeah, I mean Vino was the Vino was one of my favorite parts of his career. But I don't know. I can't see the older Kobe guarding the younger one. At
I
least the
I
younger one's scrappy. At least that he'll give you that, you know.
uh-huh. And then the next one we got KD versus
KD,
KD.
look, first half of his career, he was one of my favorite players in the game. The second half of his career, even though I don't like him, he's fucking deadly now. Like whatever the fuck he is now, he was not those first few years in Oklahoma. So I think you have to go later in his career.
Later in career. Okay,
I
okay, I
think you
like
have
that.
to.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we got LeBron and then LeBron. It's specific in this picture specifically they have him in the Heat. So I'll take that.
Heat LeBron versus LeBron now.
Versus LeBron Cavaliers.
Oh, okay. Heat LeBron
Early
versus,
LeBron. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's gotten better from the 3-point line. Um, he's not great, but he's gotten better. He's still terrible from the free throw line.
Hey, but he's clutcher now. So I feel like I would lean more towards later LeBron just because I feel like early in his career, and I remember all this, and I'm sure you remember, he wasn't clutch. What was everyone was talking about was LeBron isn't clutch. When the fourth quarter comes, he disappears.
Yeah, that he didn't have the killer instinct. But on a team
Yeah.
like this where you got Chris Paul, Kobe, and KD, like LeBron's not getting the ball in the fourth, dog. Sorry. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess yeah. Okay, I'll go Miami LeBron.
I think I would too. And then the last one, this one I find very, very, very interesting because we got Magic Shaq and we got Lakers Shaq.
This is crazy because it really does depend on like what year Lakers Shaq. Because Magic Shaq, oh my God, it's honestly like you really have to go back and watch those games to see some of the things Shaq was doing, and then you have to take into consideration his size. Like watch his highlights, but then think about like a human being that size should not be able to move that fast. Shaq was swift in his younger years, man. When he stayed in shape, he was a fucking problem. Now you're looking at, '03 Shaq, when he let that weight get the best of him. Yeah, he was still strong and he was a dominant force to be reckoned with down low. But he wasn't. It's different when you see him running on that fast break. Like people talk about like, oh, you better watch out. You got LeBron coming down the fast break. Like nobody wants no part of that. Trust me, you want no part of Orlando Magic, Shaquille O'Neal coming down the fast break, bro.
I
Trust me,
like
you're
that.
getting the
Respect
fuck out
that.
the way once you see that man coming down the lane.
I respect that. I respect
So I
that.
think I just for like the sheer athleticism, the energy that he played with was different. Like I have to go Orlando Magic Shaq.
Cool. I like that. I think I would too. Just you can run the floor easy, no problem. Athleticism, everything about him when he was younger. I'd probably go with Orlando Shaq too.
And Daniel, this list or this conversation was on the Sports Center Instagram,
It was actually on the ESPN Instagram
the ESPN Instagram.
specifically. Yeah.
Do me a favor, because I think they did another one where it's the same premise, just a different set of 5 players.
Ooh.
Let's grab that one for next week because I want to go through that one too. I like
Okay.
this. I like this idea where you have to compare same player, just different points in their career against each other.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that.
Obviously because of Corona and because of COVID, there's been a lot of cancellations, a lot of postponements of just different engagements people got going on. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't take time to celebrate the big milestones in people's lives. So Danny, you had a couple people you wanted to mention.
Yes, yes, definitely do. I have a few people that graduated. Shout out to my cousin Brenda Ruiz, graduated from Cal State LA with her master's in healthcare management administration. Shout out to my friend Lucero Acevedo. Worked with her at In and Out. She had her bachelor's from CSUN in sociology. I got a shout out to another coworker, Ida Madani. She graduated high school. She's going to UC Irvine. And then a very, very, very special shout out to my best friend Steve's fiance, Stephanie Mendoza. She has her bachelor's in public health, just graduated from CSUN. But there's also something else. She got something in the oven. They're expecting a baby, so I want to say congratulations to them. And I kind of want to speak on this a little bit because this was the first time that, and I'm sure you understand this, Francisco. This was the first time that somebody got pregnant, and I was like, oh, this is good. Like, all right, let's do this. Like, someone's having a baby. Obviously, me and you were getting, getting a little older, and when people were getting pregnant when we were younger, it was more of like a, all right, well, I guess we got to figure this out, right? But this time, like, it was funny to think like, damn, like I'm actually happy for somebody right now. Before I'd be like, oh, all right, cool. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? But very, 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 very happy for them. I can't wait to be an uncle, honestly.
Yeah, man. You're pretty much right. I want to give a shout out to Abraham Nava. Just graduated, got his bachelor's from CSUN. At a boy, very proud of you. And also, big love to Stevie and Steph. You guys deserve each other. Congratulations. Hope you guys are ready. And if you're not ready, you're gonna get ready. And I know your friends and family will be there to help you guys get ready for this next part of your life. Happy for you guys, man. Danny, if you ain't got nothing else, let's get the fuck out of here till next week, man.
All right, well, that's it from my side. You good from your side?
Good, bro. See you
For
guys next
sure.
week.
Deuces.